Our last topic for this first module is, or what are referred to as J curves. Reed Hastings, the founder, the CEO of Netflix, said the following. He said, if you're not genuinely pained by the risk involved in your strategic choices, it's not much of a strategy. If you're not genuinely pained by the risk involved in your strategic choices, it's not much of a strategy. Any strategy involves some element of risk, some element of pain, displeasure. And that's where this idea of J curves comes from. By definition, any strategic decision to spend money today for benefit tomorrow is a J curve investment. And so you just picture a capital J, and that's what we're referring to as a J curve. So examples of J curve decisions might be a key hire, bringing on a big new account, a new customer, investing in a big piece of expensive equipment, introducing a new product, going into a new market, an acquisition. These would all be examples of J curve investments because we make the investment and there's some expense, some cost we have to go down in terms of an expense, a cost, an investment, and then we begin coming up because we begin to see a return on that investment. I heard this recently, the following: the process of identifying, prioritizing, and managing J curves, it may be the most important determinant of entrepreneurial success. So there are three phases of the J curves. Again, just picture a capital J. The first phase is the initial investment, $50,000, $100,000, whatever it might be, initial investment. And then the second phase is what's called the catch-up. I've heard it also described as the valley of despair, the VOD. It's when we're losing money or we're trying to recapture our investment, kind of the bottom of that J curve. And then when we get past a break-even point, the rest is what's referred to, the rest of that curve is referred to as blue sky. Investment, catch-up, blue sky. My experience is some business owners may have too many J curves at any given time. Some may not have enough. And it's a question that I ask frequently of business leaders is, how many J curves do you currently have, currently operate? How many on your desk, so to speak? There are a number of rules for managing J curves. This is in your handout. The first is that you want to measure and manage the depth and the width of the valley of that J curve. The depth, how far it goes down, the width, how long it exists, and we measure that in both time and money. Let's just say it's a key hire. You're hiring a salesperson, and we know that salesperson may not produce sales right away. So we've got to invest time and money in that individual to get them ready, prepared, trained to start making sales. That's going to cost us money, going to cost us time. So number one, we have to estimate, what does that look like? Is it $50,000? Is that $100,000? The second rule for managing J curves is we don't want to become emotionally attached to the J curve, because at some point we may have to jump ship, so to speak. We may have to stop the investment. Maybe it's a key hire, and 3 months in, we've determined this person will never sell. This person will never perform, and I'm going to have to let this person go. If I become emotionally attached to this investment, to this J curve, it makes that decision that much harder. So we have to, in a way, distance ourselves from the J curve. Number three, we don't want to take on too many J curves at once. Again, we should have a couple, but we want to make sure we don't want to take on too many. Number four, we want to create and manage a plan for going from, again, phase one, the investment, phase two, the catch-up, phase three, the blue sky. We want to have a plan for, okay, how long is this going to take? What's it going to cost? What needs to be done to work our way from phase one to phase two to phase three? And then we want to watch out for what's referred to as the W curve. W curve is we go down, we go up, and then we find ourselves going down again. We don't want to repeat that. We want to be very careful. And then last, we want to establish what's referred to as a J-curve register. Just on a piece of paper on your desk someplace, just take note of your current J-curves. How many are there? What are they? Just to make sure you're on top of those decisions, those investments. Theory of J-curves. It's a very simple idea, this idea, theory of J-curves, but very powerful in terms of thinking about your decisions. So oftentimes if I'm working with a business owner, a CEO, and I'll say, that decision sounds like a J-curve. Now that gives us a platform of sort to have that discussion about that investment. Okay, so that takes us to the end of Module 1. We've been talking about growth and growth strategies. Now it's time to work on your business plan, make sure that you've completed everything that we've talked about, and get ready for Module 2.